The sedan appeared through dust like something wrong. Ali kept running. His breath came steady, the Pennsylvania morning cool against sweat-slicked skin. Gravel crunched under his sneakers, pine smell thick in the air. He'd logged 4 miles already, the rhythm of road work as familiar as prayer, but the car didn't pass. It rolled beside him, slow, deliberate, engine ticking like a heartbeat. Ali glanced over and slowed. He recognized the profile behind the dusty windshield. His grin came automatic, the showman's reflex. "Bruce, man, what are you?" The door opened. Bruce Lee stepped out. No smile, no warmth. Eyes dark and fixed like a man delivering news of death. Ali's grin faltered. He stopped running. His lungs pulled air, but something else pulled at his gut. Few people looked at Muhammad Ali with pity. Fewer still looked at him with fear. Bruce looked at him with both. "I drove 8 hours," Bruce said. His voice carried the flat weight of exhaustion. "Because I am worried about you." The words hung in the mountain air between them. Ali felt his jaw tighten. Somewhere in his chest, beneath the champion's armor, something small and fragile stirred. What had Bruce seen that the whole world had missed? Ali's jaw locked tight, worried. His breath came hot through his nostrils. "I am undefeated, man, 32-0, the greatest heavyweight who ever lived." Bruce did not flinch. His gaze stayed level, clinical. "You are also 32 years old." The morning air suddenly felt thinner. Ali's shoulders stiffened. "I watched your last 3 fights," Bruce continued. His voice dropped lower, stripped of anything but fact. "You are taking too much punishment. Headshots you would have slipped in 66. Your reflexes, they are slower." Heat flared in Ali's chest, a sharp chemical burn. The champion's armor, polished for a decade, cracked audibly. His fists curled at his sides. "So you drove 8 hours to tell me I am washed up." Bruce's expression did not change. No pity, no apology, just that same terrible clarity. "I drove 8 hours because the next punch you do not see could kill you." The words hung between them like smoke. Ali's pulse hammered in his temples. Somewhere in the trees, a crow cawed once, harsh and final, and what Bruce said next would force Ali to choose between pride and survival. Their footsteps crunched over gravel, nothing else, no birds, no wind, just the rhythm of 2 men walking toward a conversation neither wanted to finish. Ali's lungs still burned from the road work, but the fire in his chest came from something deeper now. Pride maybe, or fear dressed up as pride. Bruce Lee walked beside him, compact and silent, hands loose at his sides like a man who had already won the argument before opening his mouth. The log cabins of Deer Lake appeared through the pine trees. Home, sanctuary, yet Ali felt no relief at the sight. Bruce stopped, turned. His gaze held no malice, only the weight of something inevitable. "Young lions are coming," Bruce said. His voice was quiet, clinical. "Fighters like Foreman." Ali's jaw tightened. He knew the name. Everyone knew the name. 25 years old, hits like a freight train. Bruce paused, letting the words settle like dust. "You cannot trade punches with men like that anymore." The mountain air tasted sharp, metallic. Ali's fists clenched instinctively, muscle memory from 1,000 training sessions screaming that he could still do this, still take anyone, still float and sting, "and you will lose," Bruce said. His eyes never blinked, or worse. The words hung between them, and somewhere in the trees behind camp, something moved. Ali's sneakers ground into the gravel. He stopped. The mountains exhaled pine scent around them, but Ali tasted only ash. "So what do I do? Retire?" The word hung between them like a guillotine. Bruce shook his head, sharp. "Definitive, you fight smarter, not harder." Ali turned, sweat cooling on his neck. "That's supposed to comfort me. Use their strength against them." Bruce stepped closer, voice dropping to surgical precision. "Make them tired, frustrated." "I studied Foreman's film for 3 months. 3 months. Ali blinked. Bruce had been watching him spiral while dissecting his future executioner frame by frame. "He telegraphs everything," Bruce continued. His hands moved slow, exaggerated, mimicking a haymaker's wind-up. Loads up every punch like he is swinging a sledgehammer. Drops his right shoulder 2 full seconds before he throws. Any fighter who is not frozen by fear can read him like a billboard. A hawk cried overhead. Ali's pulse hammered against his ribs. If you are not afraid, Bruce's eyes locked onto his. He will defeat himself. The silence stretched. Then Bruce reached into his jacket and pulled out a folded envelope thick with papers. I brought something to show you. Sweat pooled in the sawdust beneath Ali's feet. 3 days, Bruce did not leave. Morning drills bled into afternoon dissections, then dusk repetitions. The cabin smelled of pine resin and exhaustion. Angle your ribs, Bruce said, pressing 2 fingers into Ali's side. 5 degrees left. The punch slides past instead of through. Ali shifted. Bruce threw a slow jab. It grazed skin, not bone. Feel that? Ali nodded. His breathing steadied, controlled, not gasping. Reggie Walsh stood in the doorway, arms crossed, jaw tight. He waited until Bruce stepped outside, then moved close. We do not need martial arts advice. The words came sharp. Ali turned, still dripping. Bruce sees things we miss. He is not a boxer. He watches fights like a scientist, not a fan. Reggie's mouth opened, closed. He walked away. That evening, Bruce returned with a heavy canvas bag. He set it on the porch without explanation. Ali stared at it. What is inside? Bruce's expression did not change. Tomorrow you will hit me as hard as you can. Full power, no holding back. Ali's stomach twisted. You serious? Bruce unzipped the bag halfway. Ali glimpsed something inside, leather, metal, strange straps. Deadly serious. Ali swung, full power. Bruce's forearm redirected the force sideways. No block, just angle and breath. The impact whispered past his ribs like water around stone. Ali stood there, fists still extended, understanding blooming behind his eyes. Evening came soft and humid. They sat on the cabin porch, wood still warm from the day's heat. Fireflies pulsed yellow-green in the darkness beyond the rail. The mountains exhaled pine and earth. Cicadas droned their electric hymn. Bruce spoke quietly, staring into the blinking dark. Be water, absorb, redirect. Let the rigid fighter break himself against you. Ali shifted in his chair, the old boards creaking beneath his weight. His knuckles still tingled from the afternoon drill. You really think this will work? Bruce turned, met his eyes. If you adapt, you survive. Rigid trees snap in storms. Silence settled between them, thicker than the summer air. Ali nodded slowly. The philosophy sank deeper than technique ever could. Bruce stood, stretched his back, walked to the porch edge and paused, watching fireflies dance their brief, urgent patterns. I leave tomorrow morning. Something in his voice carried weight Ali could not name, a finality that tasted like goodbye stretched longer than 3 weeks should allow. 3 weeks after Bruce left, the telegram arrived. Ali stood in the cabin doorway, sweat still cooling on his shoulders from morning road work. Reggie handed him the thin yellow paper without a word. The texture felt cheap between Ali's fingers, too flimsy to carry the weight of what it said. Bruce lay, dead, Hong Kong, 32 years old. The mountains went silent, no birds, no wind through the pines. Just the blood rushing in Ali's ears. He had warned Ali about mortality, about taking too much punishment, about young lions who hit like freight trains. And now, Ali's hands shook. The telegram slipped from his grip, landed in the dirt. Reggie stepped back. Ali turned away, walked into the trees where no one could see. There he wept, not the loud kind, the kind that carved holes in a man's chest. When he returned an hour later, his eyes were dry but red-rimmed. He said nothing. He wrapped his hands. He hit the heavy bag until his knuckles bled through the tape. Be water, absorb and redirect. Every punch became a prayer. Every combination a vow. Bruce's voice echoed louder now than when he'd been alive. And that was when Ali understood something that terrified him more than any opponent ever could. The Kinshasa heat crushed everything. Ali stood across from George Foreman in the sweltering ring, 60,000 voices screaming predictions of his destruction. Foreman's shoulders looked carved from stone, 25 years old. A freight train wrapped in skin, the bell rang, Foreman charged, hammers disguised as fists. Ali backed toward the ropes, felt the rough hemp bite into his spine. The crowd gasped. What was he doing? Foreman unloaded body shots, hooks, uppercuts, each punch meant to shatter ribs, but Ali angled his torso. Absorbed, redirected, Bruce's voice hummed beneath the chaos, "Be water. Let the rigid fighter break himself." Round after round, Foreman swung with murderous intent. Round after round, his breath grew ragged, his punches slowed. Frustration darkened his eyes. By the eighth round, Foreman's arms hung heavy as anchors. Ali saw it, the crack. He stepped off the ropes, 1, 2, 3 shots. Foreman collapsed, the canvas shook, the stadium exploded into deafening roar. Ali knelt beside the fallen giant, sweat dripping onto the blood-stained mat. His lips moved, words swallowed by the crowd's thunder. "That was for you, Bruce." He stood. Cameras swarmed. A reporter would soon ask about the strategy, and Ali's answer would raise more questions than it solved. The reporters swarmed before Ali could rise. Camera flashes bleached his vision white. Microphones thrust toward his face, metallic and cold against his sweat-drenched skin. The arena air hung thick with cigar smoke, and 10,000 bodies pressed too close. "How did you do it?" A reporter from Sports Illustrated lined in, notebook fluttering. "Everyone said Foreman would kill you." Ali's chest heaved. He wiped his forehead, fingers trembling. "A friend taught me something." "What friend? Your trainer?" "No." Ali's voice dropped. "Someone who saw fighting as chess, not war." The reporter's pen paused. "Chess, he taught me to make my opponent defeat himself." Ali's eyes focused somewhere beyond the crowd, beyond Kinshasa. "He taught me to be water." Silence stretched between them. The reporter blinked. "Be water." "What does that mean?" Ali stood slowly, towel draped over his shoulders. His jaw tightened. The question hung there unanswered. He turned toward the locker room, each step deliberate. "Champion, wait, who was this friend?" Ali stopped. His back stayed turned. "Some lessons are sacred." He walked away, leaving the reporters scribbling confusion into their notebooks. None of them knew the right questions to ask, and if anyone ever did. Ali had already decided which truths would die with him. Decades rolled past like rounds in an endless fight. Documentary filmmakers dissected the rope-a-dope frame by frame. Analysts filled chalkboards with tactical diagrams. Historians debated genius versus madness. The consensus settled into myth. Ali outsmarted Foreman through sheer instinct, through brilliance born in the ring. Few understood the fingerprints hidden beneath that victory. In 1996, an interviewer found Ali in his Arizona home. Parkinson's had softened his voice to gravel whispers, trembled his hands into fragile birds. The camera captured weathered skin, eyes still sharp as broken glass. The question came gently, "Where did you learn to bend instead of break?" Ali's mouth worked slowly. "A friend taught me flexibility over force." He saw fighting as science. He died young, before he could see what his lesson became. The interviewer waited, but Ali's gaze drifted toward the window, toward decades collapsed into dust. Historians never connected the dots. Bruce Lee's name appeared in footnotes, a sidebar curiosity. Training camp visitor 1973, nothing more. But somewhere in the space between recorded history and whispered truth, two legends merged into one immortal lesson. Be water, absorb what is useful. Let rigid things break themselves. The lesson survived both men, flowing forward through generations who would never know its source.